Hello and welcome to Have Fun Cooking. Today we're going to be making yogurt, but we're going to make strained Greek style yogurt. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get your ingredients together, which is really, we're going to be using our Instant Pot, and our ingredients really is just whole milk. You can use 2% milk or skim milk if you have that. This right here is our yogurt starter. What this is just yogurt that I've used before. I bought this from the store, and I take this and I put it in an ice cube tray, and I make little ice cubes to where I only need 2 of these for a whole gallon of milk. And then once you make your first batch of yogurt, you can save some of that yogurt and put that into an ice cube tray and do the same thing. You can do that for, I'd say, up to 2 to 3 times, and then it's time to buy you another tub of yogurt. This is a 32-ounce container of yogurt. So filling this up 2.5 times, it's like getting about 34 to 36 cubes in here. If you plan it right, you may only have to buy one of these about once a year. And right now, I have a whole bag of yogurt cubes here. And I'm about to make some more yogurt, so of course I'm going to put a whole lot more yogurt cubes back in here again, or probably get another bag and fill that up with some yogurt cubes. So I won't need to buy any yogurt for a long time. But you need at least 2 cubes for 1 gallon of milk. If you make it thick style like I like to make it, I like to strain it a lot to where I get practically yogurt cheese. Whenever you do that, you get like 2 quarts. 2 of these of yogurt. So you don't have to strain it quite as much, and you can get like 3 quarts of yogurt. Just strain it a little bit if you want Greek style. So that's about, for every cube that you use, you get a quart of yogurt. When making this yogurt, the first thing you want to do is you want to pasteurize your milk and also denature the proteins in the milk. And when you denature the proteins in the milk, it helps your yogurt get thicker. Okay, so we're going to put this milk in here, turn it up to 180, and let it cook for about an hour. It takes about a couple of hours for it to finish a full cycle. So let's go ahead and put the milk into the Instant Pot now. Let's move this out the way. This needs to melt. So while the milk is pasteurizing and denaturing, we're going to let this melt some so that when it's done and when we cool off the milk, before we put this in, we have to cool off the milk, cool it down to about the temperature that you're going to actually ferment the yogurt in. And normally I usually use about between 107 and 108. That's the temperature I use to make my yogurt. So we're going to cool this milk down to about that temperature and then put this in here. So set this to the side and let this defrost or melt, because I keep these in the freezer. Okay, so let's go ahead and pour our milk into the Instant Pot to get it going. Also, make sure that your lid is clean and that this is clean too, your ring. You can put the lid on. You can start this without putting the lid on too, but you need to cook it with the lid on so nothing falls in it or anything like that. We're not going to pressure cook this. So now we're going to use our yogurt setting. Okay, so here we're not going to use pasteurize or ferment. We're not going to use those functions. We're going to use the custom function. Click custom. We need to cook this first, so let's take it all the way down to an hour. So that's 1 hour, and we're going to pasteurize this at a temperature of 180. Okay, there. And then we just hit start, and there we go. And like I said, it's going to take this about an hour or two. We're going to cook it for an hour, but it's going to take another hour for it to come up and even start to get going. Okay, so just let this go. Plan this for about 2 hours to get finished, and then once this is done, I'll bring it back and then we'll cool off the yogurt and then put in our starter yogurt. Okay, so here is the yogurt. It stopped, and whenever it stops, whenever the cycle ends for pasteurizing or cooking the milk, it just cuts off. So now what we need to do is cool off the milk. So what we're going to do for this is simply we'll put the inner pot into the sink in some cool water. Okay, so that's about halfway. It's about up to the same line as the milk. We're going to let this cool off like this for a while. This has cooled down a lot, and this has only been in this cold water for about 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. 110 is good because I'm going to culture this at 108. So that's good. And that's a good temperature to put your starter in. Okay, because you don't want to put it in whenever it's too hot because you're going to kill your yogurt starter. So this is a good temperature to put your starter in. Mix it up. If you see a little skin on your milk, don't be afraid to take that off. Just clean a whisk, stir it like this to get it off, and then clean your whisk again. So you might see a little bit of skin on that. That's just from the milk cooking. Just clean that off. So now here's the yogurt starter. It's melted, so let's go ahead and put this into the milk. This whisk has been cleaned. Put this into the milk. And whenever you stir this, do not scrape the bottom. Again, the bottom is a little grainy from it cooking, so don't stir the bottom. Just stir it at the top. Just enough to get it mixed up. And that's all you need to do. Okay, let's put the lid on. Okay, and we're going to use the yogurt setting. Again, use custom. Now we're going to go for 24 hours. You can go for 12 hours or 18 hours, but you need to taste it and see if you like that. I like it kind of tangy. So 24 hours is best for me. And you can taste it at 12 hours, but sometimes it just gives like a buttery taste, and that may not be what you want. It's like a super mild taste. So taste it at 12 hours and 18 hours. And if that's not what you like, if it's not quite as tangy as you like it, then go to 24 hours. You take it down. You don't cook it at 180. It's not going to work. It's going to be burnt. So you go back down and cook it between 105 and 110. That's the proper culture temperature, between 105 and 110. I like to do 108, sometimes 107, doesn't matter. And there you go. Cook it for 24 hours and hit start and let it go. And it will beep and cut off whenever it's done. So we'll see you back then. Right here, this is plain yogurt. You can eat this yogurt like this, or you can strain it to make Greek yogurt, because this is perfectly fine like this. And it's this thick without putting it in the refrigerator. Okay, so now the yogurt is ready to be strained, so we're going to strain it. The yogurt is finished. Here it is after just about 16 hours. And these are the coffee filters that I'm removing. So see how thick it is? Thick on the edges and everything. See, this yogurt is not going anywhere. It's not going to slide off your spoon or anything. This basically is like yogurt cheese. This is really good. Say like you want to give this to your toddlers or whatever, and you're afraid that they might spill yogurt all over the place. Well, not with this. Let me show you the whey in here. Look at the whey. The whey is nice and clear. And you don't want to throw this out. In case you want to, this is very nutritious. Whatever's in the yogurt is in this. The same proteins and vitamins and everything. The same thing that's in the yogurt is in the whey. And you want to keep this and put it in a container like this. This was a gallon of milk. And a gallon of milk makes about 2 quarts of yogurt. And if you strain it the way I do, it'll give you 2 quarts of whey. You can put it in smoothies. You can use the yogurt like a buttermilk. When you use the yogurt like a buttermilk, you may want to thin it out a little bit so it can be buttermilk consistency. You want to mix some of the whey with the yogurt, get it to a nice consistency just like buttermilk, and there you go, you can use it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for future videos. And until next time, have fun cooking.